we're live.
Hi, welcome to the Libertarian Party of Texas Candidate Highlight. I'm Amanda Gibbs. I'm the Communications Director, and my co host is Nathan Polsky, our Campaign Support Director. And today we have Shanna Steele, who is a candidate.
Hey, Shanna, thanks for
Hello.
joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So the way these interviews goes, we got a list of questions here. We just kind of go through them, find out who you are, what you're running for, why you're running, and just a little bit more information about you. So, I think Shauna, I think we've talked a couple times before, and then met you possibly in 2022 at the state convention. I don't. Were you at the 2024 state convention?
I was not.
Okay, no worries. All right. Well, so for everybody else out there who doesn't know who Shauna Steele is, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you're running for?
All right. So, my name is Shanna Steele. I am running for Texas House of Representatives, District 18, that covers San Jacinto County, Hardin County, Liberty County, and East Montgomery County. Um, so, I'm a mother, I'm a security consultant. I'm also I was the 2022 Lieutenant Governor candidate for the Libertarian Party. Um, and I'm also working towards my bachelor's degree in international business of law.
Awesome. So just a few things.
Just a little bit.
just a few things. All right.
So, can you tell us what basically your libertarian story, like what brought you to our party?
Bad government. So let's see if I can do this without tearing up this time. so I've been persecuted by the government. But when I got into government, first it started, with my internal story. And when I ran for lieutenant governor, it became about everybody else's story because of everything that I was seeing, how what I was going through, there were other people going through the same thing. And, I wanted to get into office so that I can change those laws and to help people.
Was there any a specific moment that in your life, I was a very apolitical individual, and COVID was really what kind of pushed me over the line into actually getting involved. I know other people came in during like the Ron Paul era. Some people came in during the Harry Brown era. Was there anything like specific that got you motivated? If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine.
Well, like well, like I said, bad government.
Hmm.
If there's anything that you can think of that the government can take away,
Hmm.
they've taken away from me. But yeah, COVID was definitely a turning point. Spike Cohen, he inspired me. Along with Joe Jorgensen, I loved the way that they worked together in their campaign, the way that they campaigned. It was very professional and good-hearted. Like you could really resonate with their styles.
Hmm. Awesome.
I love Spike.
Spike's a great guy. All right, so running for House District 18. I believe it's a two-way race. It's just you and
And yes, go ahead.
it's just you and a is it a Republican or a Democrat that you're running against?
A Republican.
Republican.
And she is not an incumbent because
She is
Greg
not.
Abbott funded her campaign versus the incumbent who was actually trying to look out for his constituents.
Ooh, two-way race,
So
no
actually,
incumbent.
She spent Greg Abbott spent the most on her campaign to
I,
get rid of him.
I looked earlier. He's her top, or his
Yeah.
campaign is her top contributor.
Wow. All right, so you got your hands full there, running against a Republican who was heavily funded by Greg Abbott. So that means it should be a very important race, is from what I'm hearing there. So, what is your overall strategy? Without giving away any secrets, what's your overall strategy to get votes from your constituents there?
Just getting my name out there, to the different voters. I'm going to use the tools that are available through the Libertarian Party that just became available this campaign. Super excited about that. um, and then just there's a lot of voter suppression in my district. So I'm looking to help those voters register, or those constituents register to vote in my area, so that they're not suppressed.
Awesome. Do you have an overall platform? So some of the libertarians that we've spoken to, their goal when they get into office is just vote libertarian on policies. Others have specific issues that they're running on that they really want to fight for when they get it. And there's no right or wrong way there. What is your stance there? Do you have specific issues that you want to hit when you get elected, or is it just more vote against bad laws and just keep libertarian, vote libertarian each time?
So I do have a agenda, or so to speak. The main thing is, I think that if we legalize cannabis, it would solve a lot of problems, um, from immigration to employment and infrastructure. That's another issue within my district, is infrastructure. We have a very high population growth, one of the fastest growing in Texas. So that's really important to get the infrastructure going. I want to look at the flooding issues that happened this past hurricane and the storm before that. Uh, it looked like my entire district was like underwater for for that first storm that came through at the end of April. So I'm really concerned about that. And with one of our fire departments down in Dayton, they were talking about not having a boat to help rescue these people that were stuck in the floods. And that was, very concerning, because they do have a boat, but it was lent out to another department, or within the government. So I think that's something that we need to look into as well.
Got it.
That is definitely a huge issue, the infrastructure or the flooding, because I know during Harvey, or after Harvey happened, like I couldn't even make it to my parents' house from Houston, because in between Lumberton and Silsby, like it was fucking, oh, sorry, I'm sorry. It was like washed out. I couldn't get by unless I like went north and up and around and back down. And I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, why do I have
Well,
safety
there's a
helmets? It's not the
bridge that
weather, but
just broke. The 787 bridge, it broke. So people are having to travel around that, and it takes even longer, and it puts more strain on the other bridges that are barely hanging on. So
Hmm.
that's really important to me.
Leave it up
I can
to
definitely
government
get
road work.
right. I can get I can get behind the marijuana thing. I personally would decriminalize, but if we have to go the legalization route, it would be beneficial.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
All right. So then,
Mhm.
as far as like your policies, or not really necessarily policies, what's you as an individual, you as a candidate, maybe some of your policies, what sets you apart from your opponent, and why should people vote for Shauna instead of whoever your opponent is?
Janice.
We don't say her
So I'm a millennial.
name.
So I have new visions and new ideas that can resonate with a lot of the people. I actually listen to my constituents, and I understand where they're coming from, because I'm not, Richmond, north of Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
It's I know what the most of my constituents are needing, and I think that I'm a good listener too. So, so if they have any issues, that I'm willing to work with them and solve those problems.
Mm-hmm. Well, how's the campaign going overall right now? Have you been able to get out in front of individuals? Any meets? What can the Is there anything else that the party can help you with, or if you need support?
So I'm kind of laying low, just here and there on social media, trying to get the word out. But there's like I have did a debate at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, against the incumbent and another Republican, uh, and that went really well. They were really surprised to hear the alternative view to Republican and Democrat. So that was a little challenging, because it was with teachers, and it's like, man, how do you come across with the libertarian views with education? So I was able to speak with Frank Lozano, who helped tremendously, and gave me that confidence in spreading the message of liberty.
That's
So
awesome. It's always funny, like showing up to debates as a libertarian and being able to speak in front of people who've never really heard a libertarian speak before, and just see how much you actually resonate with them. And they come out of nowhere saying, "Where has this party been my entire life, and why haven't I voted for them?"
yeah, I try to give credit to like the media that does listen to the alternative voices. Like just recently, I did steal my opponent's interview with one of the, I think it was a Beaumont Enterprise,
Hmm.
Hmm.
no, if I'm not mistaken. So I was able to get in earned media through that, and give him an alternative view
That's awesome.
for that.
You stole you stole the interview.
Steele,
Yes,
steal the
still.
interview. I know if you ever want anybody to like walk around Hardin County, I will totally come down there and do that. I will use my maiden name with my last name because that may get you some more votes. It may chase some off too, but see.
As long as it gets more than it chases, right?
Mm.
All right. So let's say you win the election, and
No, when she wins.
when you win the election. So we're gonna say, let's talk about when you win the election. Um, you may only be the libertarian in office. If we're lucky, we may have a couple more in there. That'd be amazing. But as potentially the sole libertarian in office in Texas, what are your plans for working with the other parties? Because you really can't go in there and just say, "Here's how I want things done," and get her done.
Well, with the libertarian views, come to notice that we are kind of like in the middle. There's a lot of views that we can share with Republicans that the Democrats can't, and vice versa. So, if you take the positives and then the things that we can agree on, I think that we can get farther, way farther than what we are now.
Hmm.
There are also a few liberty leaning uh, people who are in unopposed races, so they'll just be put in. So maybe we can match on those issues.
Well, it seems like a lot of candidates, they run with the big name parties just so that they can get elected.
Hmm.
They're afraid to come to the side of liberty and run as an underdog.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
definitely harder.
It is.
If we could only convince more of them to say, "Look, come run as a libertarian, and you're almost guaranteed to be in the general. You don't have a primaries to worry about."
Yeah,
And you can
Exactly.
stick to your principles? What?
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So, also, once you're elected, how do you plan on involving your community members in your decision making processes?
Well, I think that having an open door, and just listening to their voice, I think that's very important. I know some of the other candidates, they were talking about having like a weekly luncheon or breakfast or something like that to conjugate with the constituents, and I'm up for that too if time allows, because I know you get busy with stuff like that. So
I mean, having an open door is pretty much better than what I've encountered with my
Hmm.
my
Open door,
reps.
open door transparency. Actually returning constituent phone calls when they call and they leave a voicemail, and don't ghost them. We've had
yeah.
several others as well that talked about it, where they would try and reach out to their um, reps and email, phone call, voicemail, show up in their office, can't get a word with them. How can you represent if you can't actually, you know, hear from your constituents? All right. So you said you are in not cybersecurity. You do actual security.
Well, I have studied cybersecurity,
Okay.
but actual, yes, actual security, like security guard, bodyguard, um, things like that.
Okay. So do you think that type of experience would aid in being a house rep, or do you have other skills that you may have picked up elsewhere along the way?
Well, I do actually, because the border issues, I think that security definitely comes to play in helping solve the border issues. However, I think that's more of a political ploy than anything. The whole Cloward Pivens uh, strategy. But yeah, I do have other skills. I used to work in a classroom, so I know how to deal with multitasking. That's another issue. You got a good skill to have with that too. So yeah, I definitely have the skills to do it, and I think that the skills that I lack, or the areas that I would lack in, I would have be able to put somebody else in that position, to strengthen my campaign in my position.
Awesome.
You just see her and Richard Widman working together.
Yes, very much so. All
Well,
right.
if he doesn't make it, I would definitely love to have him on my team if I do.
There you go. Libertarians
Hopefully,
helping
both of you make it.
libertarians.
Hopefully.
All right. So, if somebody wants to reach out to you to get more information about your current campaign, maybe, have a cup of coffee with you, find out how they can help, how can someone do that?
So the best place would be Facebook.
Okay.
Um, I am on Twitter, but not as much as Facebook. Facebook is like my primary go to right now, and I am looking to set up a Twitter. Uh, but yeah, Facebook is definitely the spot to go to right now.
Twitter is fun. It's definitely a more political atmosphere.
It's a different atmosphere. Facebook, I've seen in the past, leans a little bit more to the left. Um,
What?
what? And
Is yours?
mine did. And then Twitter leans a lot more to the right. At least that's what my past experience is.
Really?
I guess I'm in an echo chamber, so leave me alone.
Mine's like the exact opposite.
All right. Well, Amanda, do you have any other questions that you want to talk about?
Uh, no, I just want to go and knock on doors and help her.
Definitely. All right. Shauna, do you have any questions for us? Do you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
I think we covered it all.
Awesome. All right. Well, I don't have anything else. I think you knocked out all of our questions. So thank you very much. Again, so my name is Nathan Polsky. We've got Amanda Gibbs here, my co-host. Thank you again for joining, and Shanna Steele running for Texas House District 18. Her information is displayed below, so if you are watching instead of just listening, then you can check out those links. Um, Everybody else, so make sure to check out our other candidate highlight videos on our Libertarian Party of Texas YouTube channel. And stay tuned, we've got more interviews coming up. All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Shauna.
Thanks
Thanks,
for having me.
Nathan.
Thank you.